Welcome to the Buff Show on the American Adversaries Radio Network, brought to you in part by House Scott Magaro, appellate law firm. Visit them at appealslawgroup.com. Now it's time for the Buff Show Open. To the people who decided to cancel the 2020 spelling bee, you are as dumb as the person who is driving alone in your car with a mask on. It is literally a solo competition. While the other nerds sitting behind you, surely they can sit 6 feet apart thinking on how to spell hydroxychloroquine. No one is going to jump up and hug the winner because spelling words is just not that exciting. Speaking of jumping, viruses don't jump. Social distancing is what people do anyway. I don't make out with people I walk by, even though it would be hard not to if Kate Upton was up for it. Viruses don't bounce around, but Nancy Pelosi does after 3 pints of $12 ice cream. While she was bashing the rally that I was a part of in Florida, the video of us was playing in the background on Fox News Sunday. You won't see millionaires with $24,000 worth of ice cream in refrigerators like Pelosi. You see business owners, restaurant workers, students, and people who lost their jobs. Pelosi and people like Mayor Jerry Demings have no regard for their well-being, but said we would be at fault for spreading the virus. All of us are fine, by the way. And while Demings was calling the event a circus, the real clowns were inside spreading fear and giving reasons to keep us locked down. The local news posted the videos, and people on the comments were saying things like, "Where are the long guns and tear gas? And if they get sick, do not treat them." Stalin called these people useful idiots, and I call them the lost sheep. Fear is one of the most powerful tools to tell people the direction you want them to go. A growing number of Americans are looking to save our civil liberties and get our rights back. Want to go out to eat? Go. Sporting events and concerts should sell tickets. The Frady Cats will be surprised to see how many tickets are sold and how many people show up. Here are some new words for the 2021 spelling bee: freedom, Constitution, Bill of Rights, and American exceptionalism. Hopefully that one will be televised. Let's go all out for dinner now and get a beer, and let's make China pay the tab. On the Buff Show, I'm joined, of course, with the philosopher and political mad scientist, Christopher Hart of the American Adversaries Radio Show. Great to see you, Chris.
Good to see you, Matt.
All right. Before we get into your comments on the opening, I just want to encourage everybody to listen to the night show, all right, of the American Adversaries Radio Network. This is live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday through Friday here in Central Florida, or you can listen on AmericanAdversaries.com or over the airwaves here on AM 950 and FM 94.9. The Answer.
Right.
All right. Bigger, bolder, faster, better.
And more important to listen to than ever before.
And that is true, Chris. When we talk about this all these things going on, give me your thoughts on not just the open, but, what you saw from the reaction.
What's going on is the left, once again, is trying to destroy America as we know it. And any attempt to protect America as we know it is going to be vilified and turned into the boogeyman. And that's what happened with the protests that occurred all over the country and are still occurring, by the way. And there are more planned as the nation gets anxious over the shut-in. You mentioned Mayor Jerry Demings here in Central Florida. He has been very, shall we say, aggressive in his efforts to keep the community safe. However, he has shown little in a sense of balance for exactly what that means, because there is the virus out there, but there are a lot of other things out there as well.
There's always a risk.
Exactly. And when you're so one-sided in your concern about one thing, you become short-sighted in your concerns about other things. And when it comes to the economy and economic well-being, that is directly tied to health and people's overall well-being. Not just physiologically, but obviously psychologically as well. So, you have the issue of the health wrapped up in the bigger issue of politics. And
yes.
This is once again, and we've talked about this before, we'll be talking about it again more today. And that is that the left, the Democrats and the media are using this as a political bludgeon in which not only to beat up on Donald Trump, But there's somebody, and we've talked about this on the radio show on a multitude of occasions, there's somebody that the media, that the left, that Nancy Pelosi hates more than Donald Trump. And you know who it is.
Well,
it's us.
It's the people. Say it's probably me and you right now.
It's the people who elected Donald Trump. Okay,
the basket of deplorables.
The deplorables, the irredeemables, us. And they have no problem with making us suffer. And by the way, they have no problem with making their own constituents suffer because they've got their own constituents cowed into the obscene, absurd, cruel notion that suffering is somehow good.
It's good.
They want to suffer.
Yes.
They want to stay in their homes. They want to stay locked up. They want to stay on their toilets with their toilet paper for 18 months. When I was in college, I studied world religions, and there's a Buddhist sect, I believe in China, but wherever this sect is, it may be elsewhere. But every day, the monks go into their area was set aside for purging themselves. In other words, they whip themselves with canes, rods, in order to inflict pain and suffering on them. The notion being, the more they suffer, the more it purges the soul. Well, that is the kind of thinking that you have on the left. They think that if they suffer, it's good for them. And they think that if we suffer, that's even better.
Well, because they're not suffering. You saw Nancy Pelosi's refrigerator.
She doesn't suffer, but her constituents suffer.
Those are the people suffering.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That fool, that idiot, Pelosi, has now fooled and made bigger idiots out of her constituents because she has them praising her for having a $24,000 refrigerator packed with $100 plus gallon ice cream. And they don't have any of that. But they think it's good that she does, and it's okay that they don't. And they don't want anybody else to have any joy in life. They waller in their suffering, and they want everybody else to do the same.
Chris, you have to mention if Donald Trump showed the same kind of video from his New York apartment with the ice cream. And
God.
They would vilify him to no end. They don't mind their own leaders being wealthy and rich. Yeah. They just hate for anyone else to be, especially people they strongly disagree with.
Oh, no, and it's the duplicity. And you mentioned the useful idiots. That was a term coined by Vladimir Lenin back in the Russian Revolution, the early 20th century, 1917. And what he was talking about was the people that could be manipulated easily by emotion and not much in the way of reason and fact. And those people, generally speaking, are academia, students, and the left media. And so these people, and then opposition political parties, because they're willing to do anything to get power. They don't care what it is. And so the point was that these people could be easily used to get the propaganda out there needed to push that storyline. Now, I've come across an absolute surefire cure for the COVID-19 Wuhan flu coronavirus. But you know what? I think we'll tell people what that is in the next segment.
Well, stay tuned for that because that is something you're definitely going to want to hear.
Right.
This is our weekly show. This is the start of, and there's more segments to come. And we've been coming to you from the House Scott Magaro Law Firm Studios. You can visit them at appealslawgroup.com. Don't forget to listen to the American Adversaries radio show every Sunday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on AmericanAdversaries.com. Or if you're here in Central Florida, AM 950 and FM 94.9. We really appreciate the new likes and followers that we had this week of the radio show and also on YouTube. Please continue to hit, like, and share that and hit that notification bell that comes up. It's fantastic, and thank you for joining us. We will be back soon. Stay smart out there.